Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, if you're interested in booking coaching calls or tarot readings, my website will be in the description box where you can do that. Now let's get into this video. So we are about to enter Cancer season. This is so crazy because Cancer season starts summer and this year is already halfway done, which I find to be wild. Also, happy birthday to my sun sign Cancers out there. I hope you enjoy your time to shine. And there's a lot of stuff going on, so timestamps will be listed down below as well. If you wanted to skip to the collective message or the collective reading, that'll be at the end of the video. But this part right here, I encourage you to watch because there's a lot of things going on this Cancer season. I mean, this video is going to be really long. If you want to learn more about the different zodiac signs and astrology and all of that, and you really want to geek out with me because I love this stuff, then check out my website because I have a club that you can join where we can do inner work together through the zodiac seasons, and where you can learn more about astrology, tarot, all the things. Especially in relation to the zodiac signs and the seasons. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to the video. So just a little background on Cancer. It's a water sign and it's also associated with the crab as well as the fourth house. So like home, stability, your foundation, all of those things will be illuminated and highlighted during this time. It is also ruled by the moon. So like the lunar forces will be really powerful. I would imagine that the full moon and the new moon happening during this Cancer season are going to be incredibly powerful. The new moon actually happens 5 days or so after we enter Cancer season. So that will be very interesting because that's when the sun and the moon are together. So I feel like we're going to be receiving a lot of intuitive downloads and our emotions might be very heightened during that time. But in general, during this Cancer season, you can expect a heightened sense of intuition, a heightened sense of awareness. Your emotions might tend to fluctuate a lot, and there may be like a heightened sense of emotional awareness especially. I would even say that our emotions can be extra sensitive during this time, so pay attention to that, because sometimes during Cancer season and our emotions are a little bit extra sensitive, we can tend to take things personally that weren't meant to be taken personally, or we can sometimes react from an emotional place when that wasn't really our intention or we didn't really want to do that, or like in hindsight we're reflecting back on it and we're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So just kind of bring awareness to those things. So Cancer is associated with the Chariot card in tarot. I got a really big message with the Chariot card that I felt was very important to this video. It's never too late to take action on something. It's never too late to start that thing that you've been putting off. It's never too late to move forward, to make progress or move towards your goals. Like it's never too late. You can start now. Even if you feel like it's been too late, right now is the best time to start. Even if you feel like it's been too late and that, like, at this point, is it even worth it? Like, no, that when you feel that is when you need to just take that action. You need to go for it. Obviously not rash action, but like start taking those steps forward. But yeah, it was like a really big thing that came through was it's never too late. And when I got that, the image of the Chariot came up, and then I was preparing for this video and I was like, oh yeah, the Cancer is associated, or the Chariot in tarot is associated with the Cancer. So one of the big transits happening in the sign of Cancer right now is Jupiter. That's like Jupiter's bringing good luck to this area. So wherever you have Cancer in your chart, you can see like that Jupiter will be bringing a lot of good luck and forward movement to that area. Now Jupiter is also going to be squaring Neptune, so that square might bring up some unexpected situations, but overall Neptune is still a very like intuitive and mystical planet. So I personally don't see this square as such a bad thing. I find that it's actually very insightful. If anything, it brings a much deeper awareness of your inner world. But anyways, that's a whole nother side thing. Jupiter is going to be moving through Cancer for the next year, but during this season, especially since it just moved into Cancer not too long ago, we'll really be feeling those effects. And I believe Mercury is also going to be in Cancer for a while, especially when this video comes out. I don't know how long it's going to be in Cancer, but I don't think it's there for very long. I'd have to look that up because I don't remember that. So those are the two major things going on in Cancer. Obviously, the sun coming in is going to bring a lot of awareness to our emotions, to our intuition, to the deeper things going on in our inner world. Cancer is also associated with the mother. So like, for some people, this can shed light on any mother wounds that you may have, or if you are a mother, this can kind of shed light on areas where you may feel like you're lacking either in self-care or like something that doesn't get discussed a lot, and this is like a whole side thing, but something that doesn't get discussed a lot is like mother's guilt, where it's like you feel guilty for taking time for yourself, for taking care of yourself, for putting your needs first when you have children. And I feel like if you are a mother, that will definitely be coming up huge. And if you aren't, this could just be your needs versus other people's needs, people who depend on you, people who you feel responsible for, or people who you love and care for. It's really going to highlight where maybe you have been sacrificing your needs to meet and fulfill others' needs, or vice versa, and how you can bring balance to that so that you still feel like you're able to pour into others without sacrificing yourself, basically. And during this time, emotional triggers are going to be really, really big. Like, you will likely notice that these emotional triggers start to come up more and more. And I feel like they're coming up so you can clear through them, because something that's coming to me is from the start of this series, I'm going to call it, I've been talking about how this year is a year 9 and we're closing out a lot of old chapters and old cycles. And especially in Gemini season, it almost brought our mind to this point of not forcing us to make a decision, but really bringing to our awareness that we need to make a decision whether we want to move forward and create new things, or we want to stay stuck and repeat the same old cycles that have been repeating. And I feel like during this Cancer season, we're going to see that on a much deeper level. Like, we're going to feel that. It's not even that you're going to see it, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that call to make that change, to make a decision. Are you going to create something new for this next cycle that's coming up? Or are you going to continue the same patterns and cycles that you have been in? It's like this year 9, nothing is 100% certain, because we're in this kind of limbo state. So you can very much close out everything that has been weighing on you and start completely fresh, moving into next year, like a clean slate. Or you can close out certain cycles but leave other ones. Like, there's just no real certainty right now, and it's because we are closing this stuff out. Like, it's because of this year 9. The year 9 energy can sometimes be very uncertain because there's a lot that's going on, you know. There's a lot of old stuff that's coming up that it's almost asking us to deal with, and there's a lot of new stuff that we're looking forward to that's also coming up. And it's like, do we want it enough? Are we really that deeply invested into the new stuff that we're willing to go after it? Or are we going to fixate on what was the past? And again, like, this could even be seen as, let's say you have a job and maybe your past experiences in that job were not that great, but you still like your job and you want to keep your job. So it's not to say that you have to let go of your job to have a new experience. It's that you just need to release the past experiences. And that can be easier said than done, but like that's kind of what this year 9 is all about. It's like, okay, even if you like where you're at, are you able to let go of the past so that you can move forward in this area and have a new beginning and enjoy this new experience, even if it's experiencing the same thing? I hope that's making sense. And one of the other transits that's kind of impacting this Cancer season is Mars in Virgo. So with Mars in Virgo, it's almost asking us like, where do we need to be more disciplined so that we can feel good, so that we can enjoy our life? Where do we need to create more structure, more organization, more discipline? Where do we need to bring that organization in our life so we feel at peace, so we can enjoy all the experiences that we're creating right now? And especially the areas in your life that maybe aren't running so smoothly, that you feel are very disorganized or messy, those areas are going to be very highlighted during this time. I wrote a few things down of how you can really align with this Cancer season, and a few things to like pay attention to. One of those things was emotional manipulation. Sometimes in Cancer season, because our emotions can be quite high and like there's a lot of that emotional baggage coming up, or emotions just running high generally, emotional manipulation is something that we need to be mindful of. Like, it doesn't even have to be from an ill-intended place, but it's definitely something to be mindful of, so that you aren't being emotionally manipulated or being emotionally manipulative. This is also a really good time to invest energy and time into the ideas that you have, because this rules the 4th house, especially ideas that are associated with your home, your stability, your foundation. This could be like your physical home, but this could also be like your internal, like your body, your inner world and what you feel is home. So investing in energy and bringing those ideas to life during this time will be really important. Because Cancer is associated with the 4th house, this is almost like the perfect time to do that, because the energies are all aligned with you to help you implement these changes and see these ideas through. Another thing that came up is like during this time you might feel the need to be more alone, to be more reclusive, to be in your own energy, and that's okay. Like if you are feeling a little more reclusive, or like you just need that extra time alone, take it, because that's almost like your intuition trying to guide you, so that you can, by spending time alone, you're able to then tap into your intuition and really hear all that's coming through, because again, the intuition is going to be very heightened during this time. So by spending that time alone, you'll be able to shut out the outside noise and come back to your inner world and what's going on inside. And it'll also, I feel, help you make decisions. Like with the Chariot too, another aspect of the Chariot is making decisions or indecisiveness. So by spending that time alone, if you're feeling called to it, like if you feel like you're always around people, or even if you're not really around people, whenever you are, you feel drained, or you just kind of feel like going back to being with yourself, that's kind of your intuition and your body telling you that you need time alone. And to take that time alone, because again, you might gain a lot of clarity through that time alone. You might gain some epiphanies, you might gain a lot of insight that helps you moving forward in what decision to make moving forward, or any area of your life that you may have been struggling in. Those things can clear up a lot when you spend time alone. So that was coming in huge. If you feel like spending time alone, take that alone time. Obviously, not everybody, like if you're a parent or you have other responsibilities, it's not always easy to have alone time, but whatever time alone you can get, try and maximize it is basically what came through. And again, coming back to your home life, your foundation, what in your home life, in your foundation feels off or unstable, insecure for some reason is coming up. So this could be like, if you don't feel safe and secure with your finances, or if you don't feel safe and secure in a relationship or whatever, this is the time to address that, because the sun moving into Cancer is really going to illuminate all of that. It's going to bring that to your forefront. And again, with this being a year 9, it's almost like doubly so. And it's all being exposed so that you can make a decision, move on from that, or clear it up, or do what you need to do in order to address these situations. So yeah, anything in your home life or in your foundation that feels off, this is a really good time to address those things. And one of the biggest things that was coming through was to examine and work through any animosity or any feelings of hurt or anger that you may be holding on to towards your family members in specific. This could be like parents, like we said, the mother wound, but it could be parents in general. It could be siblings. It could be anybody who you see or who is your family. And this could also be like a baggage that you've been carrying from your ancestors, from your family's history, from your ancestral lineage. And forgiveness work could be really important and helpful for you during this time to help you release any excess emotion that you may have been holding on to that may be trapped in your body. Family is going to be huge during this time. Just know that. There's a lot of stuff dealing with family that's going to be coming up. But are you taking on other people's emotions? So like if somebody's getting upset, are you taking that on and then ruining your mood? Whose baggage are you picking up? Like, we all have a choice. We don't have to take on other people's emotions. We don't have to take on other people's baggage. But if we are, and if like sometimes unintentionally or unconsciously we pick that up, bringing awareness will help us to be like, oh, okay, I don't actually want to hold on to this, so I'm going to release it. Or like, this isn't actually mine to hold on to. Like, I can feel for them and I can empathize, but that doesn't mean I need to take their baggage on or their emotions on or whatever. The last big thing that came up during this time is addictions, especially when it comes to your emotions. So what are you emotionally addicted to? What addictions are coming up? Do you have any emotional addictions? Like, those things will be really, really important to address during this time, because it's almost like these things are going to be highlighted heavily. So wherever you are emotionally addicted to something or having these emotional addictions, you're going to start to notice, or it won't even be like, it won't necessarily be on an external level, but you'll start to get this feeling about it coming up. It's like a nagging feeling of like, hey, you have this addiction. Hey, we need to address this. Hey, like, no matter what you do to try, if you try to suppress it, it's just going to become stronger. And that's another thing that was coming up too. If there's any emotional or emotions that you've been trying to suppress, anything related to your emotions that you've been trying to suppress, that's going to be coming up so you can address it. So the more you try to suppress your emotions, the stronger they're going to come back during this time. And it's almost like it'll be really, really difficult for you to suppress your emotions. And it's happening so you can release them, so you can finally be free of them. So you don't have to keep sweeping everything under the rug, but you can actually address it and clean out what's under the rug, clean out your closet, clean house basically. And any emotions you have previously suppressed, those will come up pretty heavily again during this time. So it's just asking you to spend some time alone and deal with those emotions, because they ain't going anywhere. They're going to be there. And no matter how much you try to suppress them, they're just going to keep rebounding. And especially during this time, they're almost going to be like smacking you in the face. Like, hey, if you don't deal with me, I'm just going to keep coming back. So a message that came up to me, because again, this is influenced by the moon. This sign is ruled by the moon, and that's like the lunar forces. There's this push and pull of our emotional tide. And if we can ride the wave of our emotions, deal with them as they come up, and really just allow them to just be, then we'll remain in our power. But if we try to either force ourselves to like swim against the emotional tide or allow ourselves to be swept up in the emotional tide, then it's almost like you're going to be swept out at sea. It's like those emotions will just take over you and you won't be able to remain in your power. It's going to be very hard for you to remain grounded and centered in your power, because you're allowing your emotions to get the best of you. And the last thing I wanted to mention before we get into the journal prompts is that the full moon during this Cancer season is going to be in Capricorn on July 10th. And Capricorn being an earth sign, so the full moon will be the sun and the moon in opposition with each other. So being that Capricorn is an earth sign and this is a water sign, the two will be like opposing each other. So it's going to really bring up a lot about where in your life do you need to ground your emotions? Where in your life do you need more grounding? So you may have all these dreams and all these lofty ideas, but how can you ground them into reality? How can you take practical steps towards them? How can you take practical, actionable steps? Where do you need to be more realistic and not so in your emotions and like in dreamland almost? It's like, okay, dreamland is great, but let's come back to reality. What do we need to address here on this physical plane? That's kind of, those two things are kind of going to be coming up during the full moon, but I'm going to have a full moon reading. I don't know if I'm going to do an actual full reading or just like a YouTube short, but we'll see. And now let's get into the journal prompts. In the comment section, I'll also include these journal prompts, but if you want to see more, check out my Instagram. It's in the description box where I have all of this posted as well. The first thing that came to me was, are you allowing the emotions of others, especially family, to influence you and your decisions? Are you picking up their emotional baggage and taking it on as your own? Do you truly feel at peace, or are you sweeping things under the rug to keep and maintain this false sense of peace? Are there any emotions that you need to address or confront? Anything that's been coming up, anything that you may have been suppressing or not wanting to deal with? And if so, what is that, and how can you take some time to address those things and deal with it? What in your home life feels off that needs to be rebalanced or reorganized and restructured to feel right again, to feel in flow again? I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but one thing that was coming up huge was the throat chakra. So during this time, it's going to be very important to pay attention to communication. How are you communicating? Are you expressing yourself? Are you listening to others? Are you allowing for open and honest communication, especially in relationships? And this could even be with yourself. Are you being honest with yourself? Are you listening to what's going on internally? Are you paying attention to the different things that are coming up during this time? And lastly, is there anyone in your family who you feel you are holding animosity or anger to? This could be on any level. It could be like a past hurt or wound that still needs to be addressed, that unconsciously you're still holding on to and it's still impacting that relationship. Is there anything like that? Because again, like, this is the time to deal with that. And if there is, then how can you work to forgive and to release that, and so that you can move forward and be free of that baggage? All right, now let's pull some cards to see what is coming up for the collective. What messages does Spirit have? Wow, the first thing we got is Judgment. Resurrection. So kind of like what we were talking about with like this year 9 asking you to be like, do you want to move towards something new? Do you want to move out of these old cycles? Like, how are you going to do that? But the other thing with Judgment is like, it's like a renewal of energy. It's almost like being born again. So what in your life needs a rebirth, almost needs to be resurrected, needs to have this renewal? And this could heavily deal with your home life. What in your home life needs that renewal, that needs that refreshing new energy to come in? Needs to be brought to your attention as well. And with judgment can also deal with awakening. So like this could be like awakening your intuitive powers, awakening your power, awakening to your power, rising out of the bubble of limitation that you may have placed on yourself and starting to awaken to the infinite possibilities out there. And I get this sense of like, during this time, it's really important not to pay attention to what other people are doing and move on your path. So if you're feeling called to awaken to something, or to awaken to start paying attention to something, or to bring greater awareness to something, even if other people aren't, that's okay. Like, you don't have to pay attention to other people, and you don't have to go along with the crowd just for the sake of going along with the crowd. Really tap into yourself and ask yourself, like, is this actually in alignment with me? Like, what is my intuition telling me? Is there something that I need to learn from this situation? Like, how can I awaken to my power instead of giving my power away to others? And this can again deal with like the emotional release too, because if you notice in this Judgment card, it's like people are bursting out of their bubble. So like, finally releasing that emotional baggage can set you free. You can feel like you're no longer trapped by it. You're no longer stuck in this bubble. So yeah, like definitely addressing emotional baggage will be huge. Freeing yourself from those things. And Judgment is also the last card before the World in the major arcana, so it's almost like a completion. So this could also be like being so close to completing and closing out a cycle. What are those last things that you need to do in order to allow yourself to have this full completion? What are the last things that you need to let go of, you need to release? Maybe it's judgment of yourself. Maybe it's harshly judging yourself for your past mistakes that you need to let go of and release so that you can have this resurrection and this new beginning. This could be like forgiving yourself as well. Like, what areas of your life do you need to forgive yourself in? Who else do you need to forgive? What forgiveness needs to happen so that you can move forward? And where in your life do you need to stop overly judging yourself? Like, we're just humans. We're really like, we gotta be a little bit more compassionate towards ourselves. We are just humans. We're trying our best. Nobody had a guidebook when we came onto this planet. There is no guidebook. We don't know how to do this life. This thing called life, nobody knows how to really do it. We're just trying our best and navigating as best we can every single day. So like, that's kind of the energy of Judgment. It's like, don't be so critical of yourselves or others, because everybody's just trying to do their best. And when it comes to forgiveness, obviously there's layers to this, but when it comes to forgiveness, it can be a lot easier to forgive somebody when you understand that we are really just trying to do our best. Like, we just don't know always, and sometimes we act from that hurt place and end up unintentionally hurting others. Now, obviously, if somebody was malefic towards you with ill intention, like, I mean, you should definitely forgive them for your own sake, because holding on to that only burdens you. But that doesn't mean that you are okay with their actions, or that you're willing to let them back into your life or whatever. Like, that's not what that means. But outside of or people with ill intentions and like really those types of things, we're just trying our best. Everybody's just trying their best. So that can sometimes make it easier to forgive when it's like, but did they really act out of ill intention, or were they just unintentionally hurting me because they are also hurting themselves? Again, that doesn't mean that you have to accept that behavior or allow that behavior to continue in your life, but by forgiving, you can release that baggage and move forward, so you're not being dragged down by it. All right, let's see what other messages come up for the collective for this season in Cancer 2025. The Seven of Wands. So where in your life do you need to be seen? Where do you need to allow yourself to be seen? This could also be, where do you need to allow your ideas to be seen? But another thing that's coming to me, and actually it's never come to me before with this card, but you notice how this is a human in a scuba diving suit, and all these other people they're mermaids and mermen. The rest of them are not humans. And so it's almost like, where do you need to allow yourself to be seen even if you're different? Where do you need to accept your differences, that it's okay for you to be different? You don't have to be like everybody else. And that's what makes you unique. And that's a beautiful thing. So where in your life do you need to allow yourself to be seen and as who you truly are? Even if that's different, and even if people are not necessarily on board with that. Also, with this, I feel like, where do you need to express your differences? So like, it's just like a silly example, but if you went to a restaurant and I'm thinking of like when you go to Asian restaurants, like Indian restaurants or something like that, the way the dishes come out, it's not individual portions. They usually come out like family-sized portions. So, if you went to a restaurant like that and you wanted to try something different than what the other people wanted to try, it's like at least expressing that, even if maybe you don't get it, or if maybe even if it doesn't get ordered, it's like still express yourself regardless of your perception of what the outcome is going to be. You're being called to still express your differences and express your desires, your wants, your opinions, how you're feeling. Like, still express yourself, even if it's different than how others are feeling about a situation, about anything. I feel like getting two more. One more, two more. We'll see. Let's see what else wants to come up for the collective for Cancer 2025. Whoa. Okay, that's a lot. But we have the Three of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Tower, and the Wheel of Fortune, which I find the fact that there's double threes. Ooh. So interesting. So this fell, and when it fell, it reversed. So I'm gonna take that into consideration so you can see them. But with the fact that you have two threes and then two major arcanas coming up, I have a feeling that meshing duality is gonna be a big theme that comes up. So like, how can you take two things and recognize that possibly both of them could be true? Like, you could simultaneously like something and also dislike it, and both could be true. So kind of, that's just one message that's coming through, is like, where can you find like mesh duality. But with the Three of Swords and the Three of Wands, it's kind of like everything we were saying earlier. How can you release the baggages of the past? And I feel like for many people, because this decided to fall and come reversed, I feel like this is the work that a lot of people in the collective are doing right now, where it's like you're releasing the mental baggages, the emotional pains of the past, so that you can move towards something better. So you can move towards the goals that you have, your desires. You can move on, like you just move on. You can free your energy and move towards something so much more fulfilling. And like explore, like when you finally release yourself from the mental anguish, those like emotions that have been hurting you from the pains, you can finally be free to explore and enjoy experiences that come in your life, because your mind isn't so preoccupied with these pains. It's like now you can actually fully be present and experience all the things that are coming into your life right now. And that's kind of what this is representing. It's like, where in our life do we need to move on from these emotional pains so that we can be present and experience life right now? So we're not just missing out on every experience of our life because we're so stuck in the past. And so that we can actually create the experiences we want moving forward and not just recreate the experiences of the past. And then with the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower, it's like, what do we need to let go of? What tower needs to be gone? Like, what foundation from the past that no longer serves us, that has many cracks in it, is clearly not working, do we need to let go of, so we can finally bring in the fortune and allow flow to happen in our life? Like sometimes we just have to kick down the tower. Like I'm getting this image of like a sandcastle, and the sandcastle, like part of it's already crumbling. Maybe the wave came and knocked down most of it, and it's like you just kick down and rebuild, or at least the parts that are broken, kick them down, allow the sand to settle and rebuild. And that's kind of like the message I'm getting with this, the Tower and the Wheel of Fortune, is like, by fully allowing that tower to break, not trying to keep it, like not trying to hold on to the broken pieces of something that's just not working anymore, and fully letting it go, you can move on to something so much better. Like there's so much more fortune available to you. There's so much more flow happening. Like, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is constantly moving, so there's movement happening. As soon as you let go of those things that are not serving you, that old tower that's just done, it's gone, it's done. In its time, it had its time. It served its purpose, but now it's not working. And now it needs to be let go so something new can take its place, something far more fulfilling. And also kind of like the message that's coming through is like, sometimes we hold on to the old because we're afraid of the unknown, or afraid of like taking a chance or taking a risk and not knowing how it's going to turn out, or not knowing what's going to come out of it. But that old thing is still not serving you. So it's almost like things could go wrong, but things could also go right. But like, are you willing to sacrifice that possibility out of this fear? And that's kind of like, that's a big thing that just came through. And one last thing that's coming through with the Tower and the Wheel of Fortune is, where do you need to take more control of your life? Where do you need to direct your life and sit in the driver's seat of your life? That kind of makes sense with Chariot being ruled by Cancer. Where do you need to take the reins of your life? Where do you need to take the wheel and sit in the driver's seat and make those decisions. And how can you start to do that? How can you start to be the driver of your life? You start to make those decisions, not worried about what other people are going to say, not worrying about what other people are doing, not worrying about how other people maybe will perceive you or what other people are going to think about you or whether you're going to look different or not, but just taking control of your life, being the driver, making those decisions. Where do you want to go? What do you want to explore? What do you want to see? What do you want to experience? And as soon as you step into that driver's seat, as soon as you step into that leadership position, you now open yourself up to those possibilities. You now open yourself up to those experiences. And that's really what, like, this is, a lot of this is about. It's like, you'll finally open yourself up to these experiences as soon as you take that driver's seat, as soon as you step into that position. All right, this has probably been a very long video. I don't even know how long I've been recording for, but I imagine it's probably very long. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified when I upload. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye.